Hello everyone, welcome back to my channel. If you're new here, hi, my name is Gina, and in today's video we're going to look at, I'm going to give you an update on my import plants that I received like 5-6 months ago from Aroid Market. There are, I believe, 6 or 7 plants that we're going to look at. So yeah, like 5 months ago, I think it was like 5 months ago, I unboxed these plants with you guys. So I'm going to include video here also of what the plants look like when they came in, and then you're going to see how they are looking today. And I think they're looking pretty exceptional. So yeah, and I'll tell you like how I cared for them, things I did, how I got them to thrive in my care, and yeah, should be fun. So if you've been thinking about importing plants from someplace like Aroid Market, I highly recommend it. I really do. I have had a few imports in my plant keeping career, and every single time, for the most part, everything does exceptionally well. They have some adjustments. They go through acclimation to your, because they're coming from, I think, Indonesia, from the beautiful tropical land of Indonesia. And in my case, they're coming to the beautiful, not tropical, arid, dry climate of Colorado. So, you know, they went through acclimation and they came out beautifully. And I'm really looking forward to showing them to you. All right, so when I received these plants, I did get 7 plants from Aroid Market. I only have 6 to show you, and that is not because I lost one of those plants. I did not. I ended up, it was a plant that they sent, because, okay, so they gave me a choice. I could pick like 4 plants, I think it was 4 or 5 plants. I picked all Hoyas. I'm pretty sure I picked all Hoyas. And then they sent me like their choice. They sent me 2 or 3 that was their choice. So one of the plants that was their choice was the Philodendron Florida Beauty. It was a beauty. It lived up to its name. It was gorgeous. It was a large size. It was their larger size. It was beautiful. The only reason it is not currently with me now is because I already had a Florida Beauty, so I ended up selling that plant to someone local, and she loved it. She loved it. I hope today it is flourishing. It is, yeah, I hope it is thriving, and I'm sure it is. I'm sure it looks beautiful. But I had put that one into, when it came in, I put that one into a jar of water, and it stayed in that water for several weeks. It was probably 5 weeks, I think, before I ended up selling it. Yeah, because I don't need two Philodendron Florida Beauties. So then the reason I kept mine, both of them had gorgeous variegation, coloration on them. But the reason I kept mine is because it was smaller, and, you know, space is always an issue for me. So yeah, so hopefully it's doing well. I'm sure it is. Okay, so we are going to get started. So we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. There are 5 Hoyas, and then there is 1 Anthurium. So let's start with, we're going to start with one of my favorites, because why not? We'll start off with, yeah, so this is the Hoya species Aceh Air. So I'm going to put up, it's either going to be video or a photo of how it looked when it came in, like the size of it when it came in. So this plant turned into, I mean, I could see when I received it that it was a gorgeous plant, but in my care, this plant has just thrived, and it's one of my favorite Hoyas. I just love the patterning on this plant. I love its glossy leaves. Yeah, the splattering of coloration. I mean, it doesn't get, to me, in my opinion, it doesn't get prettier than this when it comes to a Hoya. Well, no, it doesn't get prettier, but there are equally pretty Hoyas to this one. But yeah, I just love it. So the leaves on this one are thicker. I've noticed lately it seems like a lot of the new Hoyas that have come on the market, they're thin leaf, which is, I didn't think I would like that, but I actually do. I actually do enjoy that almost paper thin leaf. But yeah, it's just, it has this beautiful dark green and this splotchy light green coloration. It has vined a lot. So this plant lives in my grow tent. Every single plant you're gonna see here today does live in my grow tent. So the conditions in the grow tent are kind of ideal. They're kind of Indonesia-like. So they're typically the temperature, the high temperature is around like 80, 82 degrees in the grow tent at peak, about 82 degrees. It drops down to like 60. Well, in the wintertime, it drops down to like 63. In the summertime, it won't get down that low. But so 82, 63, and then humidity is constant, at least 60%, up to 90% at night when the lights are off, but between 60 to 90% humidity. And then watering. Oh, and this one actually grows on a trellis down in my grow tent. I was able to yank it off gently, yank it off the trellis to bring it up here for you guys. So it's not normally sitting in a pot like this. I grabbed pots to put the plants in so they didn't like get drippy, messy all over my house. So this is temporary in this pot. And yeah, so what else? These get water like once a week in my grow tent. And they love the humidity, and it has put out, it's put out this big long vine here and this big long vine here, and I highly recommend this one. Eventually I will propagate this plant, but for now I am just enjoying it as it is. So that's the first one, Hoya species Aceh Air. Okay, so the next one, another Hoya. We're just going to do all the Hoyas, and then we'll do the Anthurium last. So this is the Hoya Campanulata Splash. And I will put up video or picture of what it looked like when it came in. So this is, I mentioned thinner leaves. This is one of those thinner leaves, but still kind of rigid, a little bit rigid, but definitely a thinner leaf. And it's beautiful, it has this beautiful splash on it. I love how it's a contrast of like a deep green coloration with that splashy, lighter coloration, almost kind of silvery green. Yeah, it's beautiful. And I had to stick it on a trellis. So this one is actually, no, when I say trellis, I mean this sort of trellis here. Not on my big trellis in the grow tent. I just don't have room to stick it on there, so this is how it's going to be growing, and I'm going to be just wrapping it around this trellis. And once again, it doesn't live in a pot like this in my grow tent. This is actually a new pot, which I'm really excited about because it's butterflies and mushrooms, two of my favorite things. Yeah, I just picked this one up. I had to go back to Marshall's. I went to Marshall's last week, and I had to go back and see what else they had, and I found this one. Actually, Derek found this one. He's like, I see something you might like, because it wasn't in like the planter section of the store. It was like at the front of the store in a display, and I missed it, but he saw it and he pointed it out, and yeah, love it. I love this. I love this sort of thing. So anyway, back to the plant. Hoya Campanulata Splash. It has been a phenomenal grower. There are, I think, 2 main growth points on this one. And yeah, it's just beautiful. I just love it. So once again, it lives in the grow tent. It has the same conditions as the other. These all have the same conditions. 82 degree Fahrenheit, high temps, 60 to 63 degrees low temps, and it gets watered once a week, and Humidity is pretty high on this one. Hoyas do not need, well, some Hoyas do need higher humidity, but all the ones I'm going to be showing you here don't, as far as I know. I've actually never kept one of these thinner leaf Hoyas in ambient conditions, so I might experiment with that at some point. When I propagate this plant, I might take one of my propagations and just kind of test it out, see how it does in ambient conditions, because I honestly don't really know if this one does well in ambient conditions. If you know, let me know in the comments if you have kept this one in ambient. My ambient is about 30 to 35% humidity. Temperatures are just typical house temperatures. Yeah, I'd be curious to know. But like I said, I will be experimenting with it myself. So that one is doing fabulously. Nice and big, right? It's gorgeous. I love it. All right, and the next one, let's do this one next. So when this one came in, this is Hoya Sigillatis silver. And this one came in, it was already a really large plant, and it was so large, and its root system was so small compared to the plant, I decided to chop it up. So I chopped this plant into probably like 20 plants. And this is the propagation I kept. And you can see it in itself is very large, and I've had many kind of this size. Yeah, and it's beautiful. So you can see Hoya Sigillatis silver has a lot of silver in it. And this one again lives in my grow tent, and it, I already said the conditions it gets, and it's again once a week watering, and it does great. And I'm pretty certain this one would also do well in ambient conditions. I think so. In my experience, Sigillatis, like the regular Hoya Sigillatis, has been it's kind of a fussy one for me. It's not an easy one for me. This one is easier for me, definitely. It does better. It grows nice, more robustly, and it's healthier for me than just like the regular Sigillatis. I don't know why. I don't know why, but for some reason that is the case. So that is Hoya Sigillatis, looking cute. Yeah, love that one. Okay, this next one and the one after this one they're gorgeous. They're just gorgeous. So this is the Hoya Coriacea silver. And you guys know how much I have been enjoying these silver plants. So let me show you what it looked like when it first came in. I don't even remember. I have to go back and look. I can't remember what it looked like. So as you can see, this one has a ton of silver on it. It's like almost all silver. And once again, this is another one that I chopped up. I chopped it up, and I have multiples. I have at least two. I have this one. I know for sure I have a second one. I might even have a third one, and they're all growing like gangbusters. They're amazing, amazing. So this is another one that is a thin leaf, just like the, was it the Campanulata splash that we just looked at? No, we just looked at Sigillatis, but before when we looked at Campanulata splash, thin leaf, just like that one. So, and then this one also lives in my grow tent, so I don't know for certain how it would do in ambient conditions. So this is another one that I might, when I propagate it, I might take one upstairs just to see how it does, because it's so beautiful, and I wouldn't mind having this like in my living space as opposed to just in the grow tent, in the living space, so I can actually just sit and enjoy it throughout the day and not just when I'm in my grow tent. So, but in the grow tent with the perfect, ideal Indonesian-like conditions, it does fantastically. I mean, it does fantastic. I love it. Look at this leaf. So pretty. So I've kind of noticed I feel like the higher the light this plant is getting, the more silver you're gonna get and the less splotchy, darker greens, like like this leaf, less of this and more of this like solid silver. And I can't decide what do I like better? Do I like it with more silver or do I like it with splotchy? I kind of like it with a mix of colors. I kind of like that. Even though like a solid silver is gorgeous. I don't know, I just kind of like it, So this one also, was this one? No, this one wasn't growing on the trellis. I don't think I pulled this one off the trellis. No, I didn't. The next one I did, but not this one. So yeah, so this is Hoya Coriacea silver. It also gets watered once a week. All these guys get watered once a week. Yeah, it's beautiful. Love this plant. All right, one final Hoya to share with you, and it is also a beautiful one. So this here is the Hoya Mitrata silver. Hopefully I'm saying that correctly. And again, another beautiful silver Hoya. What it looked like when it came in, I can't remember how much. I mean, I know this plant has grown. Look at this big long vine. So this was attached to the big trellis in my grow tent, and I did manage to gently pull it off. But yeah, it's put out this big long vine and lots of new leaves, like this leaf, this set of leaves here, and that leaf, and all these leaves are new since I've had it. And I see there is another growth point. There is also another growth point at the base of the plant by the soil. So that's exciting. So there will be at least 2 vines. This will give me at least 2 vines. And eventually I will propagate this plant. But for the time being, I am just enjoying it as it is. And it's beautiful. So surely you are seeing why I think I said that this grouping, this import grouping of plants that I received is my favorite of any import I have ever gotten. This has been my favorite group of plants. And no surprise, it's Hoyas. It's a lot of Hoyas. So, but not all Hoyas. There is one final plant that is an Anthurium. And let me grab it back here. So this is not one, I don't think I chose this plant. I think this is one that they sent. Isn't it beautiful? It's beautiful. I kind of like, currently, like my main plants that I'm really focusing on would be Hoyas, Anthuriums, really putting a big focus on Anthuriums, and then of course my African violets and pinguiculas, succulents and cacti, and on and on and on and on. But yeah, so this is the, what is this? Oh, this is Anthurium Papillilaminum red Sonya. And I'm just gonna, okay, so this lives in my grow tent, not in my Hoya grow tent. I have 2 grow tents. I have my Hoya grow tent, mostly Hoya, and then I have the other grow tent, which is a lot of aroid plants, philodendrons, Anthuriums, syngoniums, and then also begonias and some other stuff. So it's kind of like it's a mishmash of plants, but mostly aroids. And while the other one is mostly Hoyas. Okay, so I just want to double check, make sure I'm saying the name correctly. And this pot it is in, yes, Anthurium Papillilaminum red Sonya. This pot it is in is just temporary, as I have brought this up here just so I don't get any drippy stuff. But so now this one, so I said I'm focusing on Anthuriums, and my main thing with Anthuriums is pollinating. I'm pollinating. I'm creating little plantlets, little seeds, and then little plantlets of my Anthuriums. But look how pretty this one is. So here is a photo of what it looked like when it came in. And here it is today with this beautiful, Just super dark, matte, kind of a matte finish, green. It looks actually really pretty in this pot, doesn't it? I believe this is the pot Kira gave me. Hi, Kira. When she came to pick up a plant she had purchased from my plant shop. She picked up the plant and she brought me a bunch of planters, and this was one of them she brought. Look how pretty that is, gorgeous. I need to use this plant. I need to pot this one. I need to use this. Yeah, I need to use this planter. It's vintage. It is probably, well, it's probably USA pottery. I don't know, but it's definitely vintage, and I love the scallop on this one. Beautiful, and the color is just perfect with this plant. Oh my goodness. I love it. So yeah, and then of course it has put out an inflow, and it's a new inflow, just newly opened, and it's not in the female or the male stage yet. As you can see, it is still emerging. And yeah, I'll probably do something with this plant for sure. I will either have it be pollinated, or I will have it be the pollinator. So we will see. But yeah, isn't it pretty? Just stunning. So I think, yep, that is it, except for that Florida Beauty, which I no longer have. I wish I knew how it was doing, but yeah, there's no way for me to know. I wish I did know, but I don't. So if you are thinking of, like I said, if you were thinking of importing any plants, I highly recommend it. You get some beautiful plants at a lower cost. Usually they come in fairly large. They are larger plants. Typically they have pretty immature, is that the word? Root systems. They're usually pretty small in my experience, Hoyas especially, not like Anthuriums. The Anthuriums always come in with these like amazing root systems. They have those chunky roots, those thick, meaty roots, whereas the Hoyas usually come in with pretty scraggly, small root systems. But they always pull through. You know, you think, oh, there's no way this thing is gonna survive, but they always do. Well, typically, almost always, they almost always do. So if you've been thinking about importing plants, I highly recommend it. Yeah, you get larger plants at cheaper prices, and they are fun. It is fun. It is fun to import plants. And it's so easy these days because a lot of these importers, they use well, like in the United States, they have a shipping partner. So they ship the plants to the shipping partner. I think it's in New Jersey yeah, it's in New Jersey. And then from New Jersey, they sent it out across the United States. So I don't think you need the import licenses anymore. Pretty sure you don't. And you don't have to pay import fees. At least I haven't. The last 2 imports that I've received, there was no import fees because they take care of it in New Jersey. They take care of all of that. So it's pretty sweet. So, all right, so that is gonna do it for this video. I hope you enjoyed seeing this update on my Aroid Market imports from 5 months ago. As you can see, they're all doing fabulously. I'm super happy with them. And yeah. Thanks so much for watching, and I look forward to seeing you in the next video. Bye.